Everyone, it's Agnes. I have an interview for you, and today it's with Faiza. Hello, Faiza.
Hi, Agnes. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming to join me and have a chat. And let's give the viewers a little bit of background as to where you're from, where you are now.
So I live in the Washington, D.C. area right now. And I was born in Pakistan, Lahore, but
Yeah.
I grew up in Hong Kong. And I was 23 when I came to US. So I'm
Okay.
here since then.
Lovely. Lovely. I read out your success story not that long ago, and it
Right.
was so beautifully written, and
Thank you.
it was lovely,
Yeah.
just so well written. So can you go back? Let's start back at the beginning, because this is a progressive story as to where you were at, what you learned and did, and then the result you got. So let's go back to the beginning. What was happening? What was going on at the beginning?
So it's funny, I wanted to send my success story a few times. Like even when I met my SB the first time, I was like, oh, this is real. I can send it out. But then, my mind was like, no, I want to wait it. I don't talk about subjects until fully knowledgeable about it. So, I was still learning and I never heard of law of attraction before that, before coming across your channel. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to, dig more into it, see if it happens again. And then small things I was also able to manifest. But I was like, no, I'm not there yet to send a success story. That's why it's I think, pretty long, but it's pretty it covers all of the things. So in the beginning, when I came across your channel, Anis, it was that phase of my life. I think I feel the darkest phase of my life, I would say, or maybe a transition, I don't say dark in a bad way. I feel like dark when just like, the seed has been planted in a dark space, that kind of thing. For me, it was, spiritual awakening, learning about myself, coming across so many things like your channel is a big chunk of that. And all this work, which I'm learning and growing. It was right after my divorce, going through my separation. I think I was in that mode. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to, I just want to have time to myself. And I was crying a lot, of course, and I was not meeting people because I had eczema on. It was not that, my marriage was serving me well. It's just, people are scared of the change. And so
Mm.
I was like, what's going to happen? And so, yeah, back then it was a little bit hard. Is that what you're asking, how I came across your channel?
Yeah, not necessarily my channel, but how did you go from, because usually when people get on YouTube and start looking for answers, something has gone wrong and
Yeah,
they're in suffering. That's what causes
yeah,
people to often look for these types of law of attraction channels is pain.
right, right.
Mm,
Yeah, pain. I think pain is, I feel pain is a great thing, If
mm.
we only have like comfort,
Yes.
I think pain is that catalyst which,
Yeah.
spark something better. you know.
Yes, and an evolution of the spirit, the soul, the consciousness of the person.
Yeah.
So when you go back, when it all fell apart, you obviously got on YouTube and started looking for answers or on Google. So what were you looking for? What were you seeking at that time?
So during my separation, I'm pretty old school and traditional kind of a person. So I was like, no, I don't want to even, I know a lot of people who, want to put a band-aid on something for the time being. For instance, if they come out of one relationship and they want to find somebody else right away, just to kind of put a band-aid on that
Mm.
hurt, right? For me, it was not hurt. It was a whole life shift. So I didn't date or looked for that kind of thing throughout my separation. And then, when my friends were like, no, it's, you're getting to your divorce gonna get finalized, it's time. And I was like, yeah. So I started reading about relationship in general because, I was like, if I have to do it again, and I'm still learning and evolving, I have come a long way, but I feel like, I need to be a lot better than, expecting my partner to be in a certain way. He will become that, as you say, that our projections, right? So I was doing a lot of reading on relationship stuff. And then somehow I was also, like personality traits, what kind of partner I would want next.
Yeah.
Because this time around, I tell my uncle, who is my best friend and who had been, my wall to fall back throughout my divorce and everything. I was like, I don't need a man to just fulfill something. This time around, because I got married at 20, I was just 20.
Okay.
December 6th was my birthday, and December 22nd, I got married.
Wow.
I met my ex-husband only twice, and the third time we met was our wedding day, like our marriage. So I'm like,
before you keep going, happy birthday for tomorrow, because your birthday's
thank you.
tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I'll be more upbeat. And it was last weekend was just too rough, a lot of things going on. So I want to be present when I'm, sitting here with you talking about my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, this time around, I want to be with a partner. I know what I need now. Probably 20 years back, I really didn't know what I wanted. And I think I can still say I know, because maybe 10 years after I would be a changed person again, and things. But I want to grow with the next partner for sure. Grow with his low points and high points. Anyways. So what happened, I was reading all those articles online about, I'm always kind of attracted to that water energy. I'm a fire sign. I'm upbeat and I'm spontaneous, and, but, I'm really attracted to their calmness, because, my cousin is a Pisces. My best friend is Cancerian. My daughter is a Cancerian. My uncle, who was a father figure in my life, I lived with. My childhood was not stable, like, one family, mom and dad. We had a lot of ups and downs, but I give thanks for that also, because it transformed me to who I am today, So I was reading that, and I think I was listening to all those zodiac sign videos, and your channel popped up in the recommendations, like something with the relationship. I think it was a relationship story. I don't know what it was. I don't remember the first. But your first SP meditation is, which I did for fun, was where you're wearing a red tank or a sweater, and where you see the person is walking to you. It's still my favorite, meditation, where you see, it's coming to you, and then you're wearing a red tank, and it's beautiful. So I just did that for fun, and I wrote down a list. And 3 weeks later, I met Jay. I was like, I still, when I think about it, it's still like, I know this stuff and everything, but it still feels like in a dream. I still feel that kind of phase, when we first met, how beautiful it was. And it just gives me that thrill. I feel so strongly about him. But then I don't get myself attached now, knowing what I know now. Because I go like, I want to be attached to him in a loving way, in a secure way, not in a needy way where, I go like, I mean, I think I'm transferable.
So, okay, go back a bit. How did you, I mean, I know your story, but for the people that are watching, how did you meet? How did it happen? Because you had obviously got, okay, let's go back a step further. What were you doing after you'd watched a lot of videos? Were you working on certain techniques, on self-love, on vision boards? What sort of things did you, apart from the writing the list?
Yeah. So mostly I was, I did a few SP meditations. Self-love as that time. Oh, I was like, what is self-love? Forget about self-love. Right?
I know.
I love myself, and that's fine. I don't need that. Because I didn't know the concept, what self-love is, because, we feel like, oh, of course we love ourselves, but no, we think we love ourselves. So I was not doing any, self-love until I would say June, July this year. So this is like 2019, last year, almost 2 years, it feels like.
Yeah.
It was April when my divorce got finalized, and I came across your channel around the same time, maybe a few weeks earlier or after, I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly. So I was just doing that. I was like, okay, I need this kind of a man. I know in my head. The only thing I think he didn't have was blue eyes. I think, but his eyes are more prettier because they become blue when he's wearing a blue shirt. His favorite color is though blue, and
Yeah.
they become, green sometimes, or they're hazel. But I had that kind of vision. So I was just doing SP meditations where, I saw, but I didn't have kind of an image. But I was just thinking about probably a physique of my uncle, because I didn't have
Mm.
someone to, and I was not, my ex-husband is not, I wouldn't put bad things on him anymore, because self-love has taught me, it's the biggest revelation, because self-love has taught me to let go of that hurt, just see
Mm.
good. I try to see good in my ex-husband too now. I have even forgotten about what was it in our marriage, kind of thing. Probably
Mm.
self-love is like you take that whole bucket out and then you spill it away, that I don't
Yeah.
need it in my mind anymore. you know
Yes. Yeah.
so yeah, I was just doing visual. I think my biggest power is visualizing.
Okay.
If you tell me a story, I will see exact things. And sometimes when I tell my friends that, hey, this came to my mind. I was talking to a friend who was talking to me that how he met a, the girl at a bar, something, a few months earlier. And I was like, and I was visualizing as he was telling me, and I was like, huh. And I said something, and he was like, okay, tell me what color she was wearing. I was like, I think maybe off-white or cream, something like that. He was like, get out of here, you're too creepy, just get out. But I think I'm powerful when it comes to visualizing. I
Yeah.
was visualizing the kind of man I want, and I was doing that SP meditation when the guy is walking to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, just SP meditation, listening to. I didn't do a lot of techniques, like, per se, that it
Yeah.
wasn't my goal. And I think when we are at that point of least resistance, as
Yeah.
everyone would say, that's where
Yes.
the magic happens. I still sometimes deal with kind of resistance on the subject, because I go like, I have my SP, I like everything about him, I don't want to lose him. So that drunk monkey in my head sometimes pops out and
Yeah.
tells me stuff. But
Yeah.
at that time, I was not attached to anything. I was like, I'm just doing it for fun. And
Yes.
I was relaxed. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I think when you're relaxed, things happen.
I
We met through
agree.
work. We met through work.
Yeah.
I sell homes,
Yeah.
and we just met. He wanted to do an investment. We didn't go through, like, I was telling a friend that I didn't even make out any, like, we didn't do any transaction on it. She was like, well, you got a better transaction out of this. Kind of thing. It's not like, I feel like with Jay, even if we stay, it's been 8 months, we have not met because of this pandemic. It's long
Yeah.
distance. I don't have that longing. I'm really happy where
Yeah.
I am. If I see
Yeah.
him again, things evolve good. If not, it's fine too.
Yeah. It's so
So
nice to be relaxed about long distance because, I mean, I did long distance as
yeah.
well. And for a long time as well, more than 8 months, I think. I can't even remember now because it was, we met 9 years ago and
Hmm.
then I was traveling to London, but we were just communicating long distance for quite a long time. And what's great is when you can't have any physical intimacy, I think it makes you get to know somebody on a different level because you have to build the friendship, you have to build everything but that. So you're kind of forced in a way to enjoy other things with the person because you can't meet physically. And in a way, I look back and I'm really grateful for that because it it makes you explore each other mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually,
Yeah.
makes you explore those things. And I mean, I know long distance can be tough sometimes, but it can be such a beautiful experience of getting to know somebody.
I agree
Beautiful.
completely. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so right. And
Yeah.
I love how you said it, to connect on intellectually and, other things, because
Yes.
intimacy will come or
It
happen.
will come. Yeah.
That's, and then, I feel sometimes people are in relationships where there's only, and I call intimacy where, people, not only the sexual part, sometimes
Yes.
people are in relationship when they are, I feel intimate with Jay even if he's not here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I can feel his presence just, to me, that is like, oh, the way he hugs me, the way he holds my
Mhm.
hand, the way he looks at me. And the
Yeah.
sexual part, sometimes we are in relationships where there's only the sexual aspect of the relationship,
Yep.
and it feels great for some time maybe. And I'm not
Mm.
an expert, because pretty much the only guy I knew in my life was my ex-husband. I'm
Yes.
very, very, um, what is the word? I'm not experienced at all when it comes to guys, how to behave with them.
Yep.
I'm really good with my business, and with everything else. But when it comes to intimate relationships, and I had that kind of mindset a little bit, going through my separation, because that's why I was like, no, I need to work on myself. And I was doing yoga before coming to your channel, that I was like, I don't know if I really felt guys are jerks. When I came out of my divorce, I was like, I'll try this, but I'm not looking for a relationship right now, or I don't want a guy in my life, because most men are just, because I was coming from that place, what happened
Mm.
in my marriage. It
Yes.
was very heavy at that time. I'm 1.5 year out of the divorce also. So
Yeah.
I can talk very, easily. But at that time, it was very heavy on me. But
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Jay came, oh my God, he said all the things, all the right things, and he did all the right stuff. He was that, too good to be true. He's like, but I try not to put him on pedestal anymore. I go like,
Yeah.
if he's good, I'm his equal.
Yeah.
And if he can see that in me, that's his
Mm.
loss too. Because,
Mm.
like this morning, I do affirmations before I get out of the bed. And now it's a habit that the moment I'm awake, it just starts coming in my head.
Yep.
This morning I was doing, I'm kind, I'm honest, I'm trustworthy. So
Yeah.
I go like, if somebody can take that in a partner,
Mm.
that's more than a lot of other things, because,
Isn't it?
in this time and age, I
Mm.
think being trustworthy, being
Yeah.
honest, um, is a big deal. And I know Jay didn't have that in his marriage.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
go like, how am I first best?
Yes.
Maybe not. Maybe they're prettier women. Maybe they're skinnier, because I'm a full body. I lost weight, but I'm still on that journey. And I sometimes, my ex-husband has kind of treated me in a I don't want to cry on here, in a way that I felt that I'm not beautiful at all. I
Yeah.
felt that
Yep.
I don't have things in my, I'm not enough. I was, it's still, that's why I don't talk with, but Jay, he told me, I was talking about, one of my friend is really into that body. She does her lips, she does her this. She's like too much. I go like, you're too overboard, but sometimes, people do some of the things just to feel better for their own self. It's okay. So I was just talking to Jay once, and I was like, maybe when I'm in my 40s, I can do this. And he was like, why would you need to do anything?
Mm.
You,
I hear that a lot from men. I hear that a lot from men, and men that are
yeah,
in relationships, when women say
yes,
that. Men don't want
they
that.
don't
A lot of
care.
men don't want that. They just want you to be happy with what God gave you.
Yeah. And I
Mm.
think if you find a guy who wants you or your body to look in a certain way, like that model type,
Yeah.
I would say run away
Yeah.
from that guy.
Run. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, some people are naturally like that. That's
Yeah.
fine. Some people are curvy. Some people have big boobs. Some people have no boobs.
Yeah.
If you're athletic, you often have no boobs. If you're a bit curvy, you often. So we are all different, but I think as we get older, it's getting more to the point of real self-acceptance and
Yeah.
not criticizing and judging how we were made.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my
if you
God.
want to go and do that stuff and it makes you feel better, I'm not going to judge people that do that. That's if that works for you. And I know some people have been in accidents and they need to make some changes. There's always reasons, good reasons to do those things.
Absolutely.
But I think for the people that are just, criticizing themselves and making changes because they're trying to please somebody else, then you got to
Mm,
look at, hang on, what is it about my self-worth that I'm doing this? What
yeah,
is it that I need to correct more internally rather than externally?
absolutely. Yeah. And I would say go listen to these self-love videos on Agnes' channel.
Yeah, or listen to Louise Hay, because that's where it all began for me. It was Louise Hay.
I'll have to explore her. I have not read any of her book.
Yes,
I
she's
got
the godmother of self-love. She is
oh,
1960s, 70s. She was doing all that. And I think even in the 80s, I can't remember where she first began because it was such a long
mm,
time ago. But yeah, she talked about self-love when people were getting AIDS and they were being rejected by
oh,
society. Because
yeah,
people thought in those days you could catch AIDS just by hugging someone, and she was
right.
big on working with self-love with the people that
Mm,
were catching AIDS. So it is, I think. And I mean I see a lot of and I will say women because it's us, it's mainly us, that are so fixated with um all the makeup, the beauty and all of that. And I'm not saying a little bit of that's not okay, because you want to wear a bit of makeup or you want to make your hair done or whatever, but
yeah,
that isn't the core of self-love.
yeah,
So that's self-care.
yeah.
But if you work on feeling happy and good about yourself, I find there's one woman that I see that has done that better than anyone I've ever seen, and it's Helen Mirren. She's an actress from the UK.
Okay.
She's never done anything to herself. She does nude scenes in movies, even as she's got older. She just exudes that she is comfortable in her own skin and she doesn't need
Wow.
to make any changes, that she accepts herself and has really good self-love and self-worth. And I always think, look at Helen Mirren. As she gets older, I'm not sure how old she is now. She'd have to be in her late 60s, early 70s, but she has always had this self-love that just oozes out from her, and she would
Wow.
have to be one of my biggest role models of all in any industry. And I think, yeah, it's a wonderful thing to see a woman that loves herself and doesn't need to put all this focus on all the external stuff. It's an
I tell
internal.
you, yeah, I agree. Oh my God, Agnes, this is like you're touching that. And I'm glad, of course, we'll cover my story here. But, when I came to your channel, I wanted answers. I wanted, more so I can work on myself. So I think self-love, I think it's just that foundation, like you can
Mm,
build on in Hong Kong, we have like really high-rise building.
yeah,
So if the foundation is bad, how can you put that building onto any, so
yeah,
for us, it could be relationship, career, any area of your life if your foundation is not solid. So I think
yeah,
self-love is the foundation. You
I
have
think
no
so
idea
too.
how many people after I started doing, like core self-love, I
Mm,
don't do any SP meditations, maybe here and there once if something
yeah.
pops up, like, when even my kids know you, she's like, oh, Anis is on there because I because
how old
I watch,
how old are your kids?
I have two girls, 8 and 13.
Lovely. And they're
So
both with you?
we do 50-50. I
Okay.
never wanted to take away because they love their daddy and I
Yeah.
want to keep it, um, I do feel I have a little bit father issues, like daddy issues, like because my dad was away for some times and there was like that ups and downs, and I started finding that fatherly love in my uncle, and who was very protective of me, and he was
Mm.
very loving. And then another uncle of mine who is in the US, who helped me with my ex marriage and also with the divorce. So I always wanted that father figure in my partner. I still do, because
Yeah.
and Jay is very much like that. If we're walking together, he won't want me to walk on the
Yes.
side of the road. He'll go like, hey, you walk here, and he will try to, if it's
Yeah.
crowded, he will pull you a little closer. I
Yeah.
haven't told him that this is what I like about him,
Yes, it's beautiful.
because I want it to stay natural. Because if sometimes when you point it out, the other person get conscious about it.
Yes.
So it's better
Yes.
not to say. I would say, like, tell them things, but things which really stay connected to you in your partnership. Don't
Mm.
always over exaggerate to them, because then let them, if your partner is giving you something which you love and
Yeah.
it's natural for them, let it be. Don't talk about it, because
Mm.
otherwise they will get conscious, and next time when they do, I don't know, I don't tell
Mm.
him small things what he does, but
Yes.
he just do it, like
Yeah.
so I think if somebody is good at writing, I'm also, when I was in school, I used to write and then learn, like
Yes.
especially the formulas for chemistry and also for maths equations. It was just big on me. So I do write a list, like last week I was writing, what I like about Jay and what I can give to the relationship on the, side by side.
Nice.
So, because I don't want to, I'm a born giver, but
Yeah.
now I go like, I don't want to ever, ever, ever become a taker, but I just want to be that receiver of,
A receiver. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I go like, what can
Mm.
I give it to him?
Mm.
How would I be the right partner? Because I'm manifesting, I don't think so. We are in that stage of where we call each other boyfriend or girlfriend. When my neediness happened, he never lashes out or anything. He's a very calm person. And I was texting him, and he was like, you can, yeah, that's fine. I know relationships at our age are really tough, so you can lash out at me however you want to. I was like, hey, listen, I'm
No.
not lashing out at you. Now, if I need to say something to him, I never text him, because I don't know
Yeah.
what mood he's sitting and
Yeah.
how he will read. I will record a message, and I put a note. I would go like, hey, this is like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Listen to it when you have time. You know,
Yes.
not
Yes.
like listen to it now and get back to me now. I understand where he
No.
is in his life.
Mm.
So, and when we were having that kind of mode, he was like, hey, you know what? A coworker asked me if I have a girlfriend yet, and I told him I don't have any, because I don't think so. I can manage right now with all the stress. So because he was angry the way I was pushing him, and that was the first thing which happened between us 2 weeks, 2 months out of, when we were in, after starting the relationship.
Yeah.
So we met in Rio the first time. Then he asked me out. We, I mean, when I saw him, I remember, Agnes, when he walked out, I was inside the house, and because, work, I sell homes. When he when he stepped out of the car and stood up, for a split second, I felt like my uncle. My uncle passed away like in
Mm.
2003, because I wrote, and when I was visualizing, and this stuff it's scary too.
I know.
Sometimes.
I
It is,
know.
because when that manifests into
Yeah.
reality, you
Yeah.
go like, hold on, I still
Yeah.
get that kind of feeling,
Mm.
when I want something and it happens.
Yeah.
Um, then I visualize that he brings me flowers, those kind of things. So anyways, when he came out of that the car door, I literally felt, because I was visualizing, I didn't have a picture of someone, SP meditations. I was just kind of the physique and that, like, some, like my uncle, but not the face. Of course, I don't want someone who looks like my dad or my
Yeah.
uncle, but that
Yes.
physique. He and it's funny, later he told me that he had a big crush on a Chinese American girl in college. And I remind him of her somehow.
No way. So you
He
both
told,
remind each other of somebody that you really had a good connection with.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
think trust happens when, the face looks familiar or the
Yeah.
name looks familiar.
Yeah.
Um, and he opened up so much. He told me everything about, and I don't, before I was beating myself up that, oh, why I did this or why I said that to him. Now I go like, maybe that was fine. Um, I didn't do any meditation on your channel, which is like you go back in time and correct that, because I think you had an interview with somebody else who is also a coach, where you guys were talking about instead of fixing in the past, fix what you want to project into the future. That kind of
Ah,
thing.
okay.
What is the technique called when you go back in the past and correct something?
Oh, that's revision.
Revision.
And
You
the
guys,
other one's ahead in time.
yeah, you guys were talking. It's
Yeah.
like a few, I think 2 months ago or something. You guys were talking about, and I was thinking about to do a revision. But I do a lot of meditations where I kind of apologize, and I have apologized in real time, and I was like, I don't want to say it with words, I want to show it in my actions,
Mm,
and I
mm.
felt that I think he has tested me also in some ways, where he goes like, he has seen my message on WhatsApp and didn't reply for a few days to
Yeah.
see if I will be reactive again,
Yeah.
and I don't, I go like,
Yeah. You
I
wait.
just do things, I just
Yeah.
forget about, like, not forget
Yeah.
about him, I'm not
But
letting
you
go of,
allow people time,
yeah.
because I think women especially, seem to, oh, well, he hasn't answered me in 2 hours. He hasn't answered me today. And then they start getting angry and then they lash out and blame the person because they don't feel secure. It's like, I've got something going on within me. I'm now not comfortable because I feel not wanted, rejected, not important, not a priority. And then I'm going to turn that and shoot that at you
Yeah.
and blame you for how I feel. And then my stuff comes from my childhood. It doesn't come from you. But it's like, I got to try and
Definitely.
control you because I don't
All
feel good.
childhood, I would say.
Yeah.
I
I mean, it's
know, I
common. It's
know.
common. And I know men get this too. I'm not going to say just women, but it's like that blame
Yeah.
and not even seeing that you're blaming from an old place. And I
Yeah.
think if we can stop holding our current partners ransom that they have to
Mhm.
make up for what happened in your childhood, because that is a burden you put on someone. You have to make up for what I went through. No, they don't.
What
They
a
really don't.
disservice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an awful thing. And I think a lot of people do it unconsciously, that's what they're doing. You have to make up for
Mhm.
all of that. But the thing is, that person's got their own childhood. That person's got their own pain, their own stuff. So it's letting everyone off the hook and dealing with it yourself, is a wonderful gift you can give to your current relationship.
Yes. That's really big. That's really big.
It's
Yeah.
huge. It
Yeah.
is huge. It
Yeah.
is huge.
And
What
I
a
think,
wonderful thing you've attracted. And it's just, when I think of your story, it's like a turtle story. You're not moving, like you haven't got together, moved in together in 2 months. You haven't, you're just doing this, enjoying each other, moving forward, getting to know each other. It's a beautiful, natural, calm unfolding. It's
and
wonderful.
it is. And I have always believed, like, even before I knew LOA and all these, like spiritual stuff, I always thought, like, it's a mirror effect. Like, I was like, okay, if I'm kind to people, they'll be kind to me. If I'm nasty to them, they'll be nasty to me. So I feel that if I have a guy next door, it's going to overwhelm me. I can't deal with
Yeah.
that in the stage I am in life. And I think universe or God, whoever,
Yeah.
I grew up believing in God, but I think I'm not religious. I feel like,
Yeah.
I'm more spiritual now,
Yeah.
so I feel like universe only delivers you, or God only delivers you what you can handle.
Yeah.
Sometimes, people think, no, I want this, but no, you're not ready for that. If I move
Mm.
in with my partner today, I'm going to wreck that because I'm
Yeah.
still learning, and I'm learning to, because when you come from child, as we were talking about childhood, my parents stood together because of children. They were like,
Mm,
but there were just a lot of friction there. And I feel like, for me, I need my mom, and that I think some of the things also come from people we know. My business coach said we are, like, we are the 20th person of the 5 people who are the closest to us. Like, they were talking about in business that your 5 friends, or like you're one and 4 other people. So
mm,
I think in as people, it's like our parents or our siblings or best friends or people. We also attract their energy, and
mm.
we become a little part of them somehow in a different form. So I think for me, the neediness, or and then of course when I look back, because now, as you said, now I know better, I can do better, right? So
Yeah.
I also feel maybe some part of like in my marriage, it could be that I was not needy in my marriage because I knew my ex-husband would not pamper me. So I became very rigid, where I was just business focused. I'll take
Yes.
care of all this stuff, but I don't need love from you, that kind of thing. I don't
Yeah.
need love from anyone, but I'm very
Yeah.
fortunate to have good friends, family members who adore me. And now with self-love, I go like, why we always want, like women especially, they go like, oh, I'm not lovable because my partner does not love me. Well, your mother
Yeah.
loves you,
Yeah.
your daughter loves you, or your friend loves you. Being
Mm.
lovable, why you need? And Jade made me do that quiz of what's your love language. He was like, hey,
Ah,
what's your
yes.
I was like,
Nice.
well, you'll figure it out as we grow together. And he was like, no, 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 please do it. And so it could be that your partner has a different love language. It's not the
Yeah.
same language, right?
Mm.
So um,
Can you send me the link to the quiz? Because I'm sure a lot
I
of
will.
people would love to do that. We can put it down below for people to have a look at.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
I'm gonna find that link because that's like a year ago. But there, yeah, there. It's easy, because I know which one I did. There are a
Yeah.
few,
Yeah.
and there is one for single people. I did single because
Yeah.
we just started talking. I was like, which one you want me to do? He was like, do both. I was like, you know what? I'll just do the single one because I'm not in a relationship yet. He's like, you're too.
Yeah.
And I have always been that, and I think that's where my ego happened. um, I'm a doer, I'm a planner, and I'm learning big time this concept of letting go. Now I've put intentions. Like I didn't even do business plan for 2021. I was like,
Yeah.
I know how much I want to make. I know
Yeah.
how many transactions I want to do.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this is not like the relationship manifestation. But when this pandemic happened, all of my deals were off the table. I was literally for the last year also, I was living on savings. And
Yes.
I was like, I'm stuck, how it's going to happen. And I downsized recently. I was in
Yeah.
a larger home, the home I lost, kind of, that was the home I built 5 years ago, like in the marriage. I put a
Yeah.
lot of effort. I was working like that hamster in the ring. Like I was
Yeah.
working 7 days. I was able to let go, come a few steps back, put intentions, focus, give thanks, what I want.
Yeah.
And 2020 is going to be one of my biggest years in my
Yeah.
career too. Even I
Yeah.
didn't work half of like the first half, no sales.
Yeah.
It's all referrals. And I think when I think letting go and resistance, it's a big thing. I'm still learning because I go
Mm.
like, no, 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 no. If I don't do this, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it does happen, because
Mm.
like Abraham Hicks says that the universal laws are there. They're always working. Even if you put an effort on it or not, it's
Mm.
gonna just happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still think I'm still learning on relationship side, but I've come a long way.
Mm.
Yeah, I've come a long way.
Lovely. Lovely. It's such a great journey, and that 5 love languages book is really good too. I'll put the link down below so people can find. It's such a wonderful, simple book, really, but it
Yeah,
just explains so many things about,
yeah,
well, whoever you're with, if you're with someone, or just if you're single, who you are and how you prefer certain things, how love how you love to receive love from
yeah,
others. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's so good just learning more about yourself, more about, I think, letting go of how, well, just that constant, I'm uncomfortable and I need the other people to change and I need to control other people so I can feel better. It's, I think that the big part of the spiritual learning is that it's learning to deal with your uncomfortability, learning to relax and release it, and stop trying to hold people up against the wall. You need to change so that I can feel better, and all the drama that comes with those types of conversations. Because I see a lot of that in emails,
mm,
hundreds of emails a week. And it's all about, I feel uncomfortable because that person did this or that person didn't do that. And
mm,
if you can look at, what is it in me that is constantly looking for other people to change so I can feel good? If you can deal with that, it's like you're jumping up to a higher level, because all that, I think a lot of that stuff around affirming,
mm,
scripting, using all the law of attraction techniques, really to affirm your crap, which is,
mm,
I don't feel love, so let me use affirmations, let me use, and I do see and hear a lot of this. Get um, they're obsessed with me. They call me all the time. They do this. They do that. You're basically that, I think, is very lower self law of attraction work and lower self, because it's all about, how can I use all this stuff that I learn online to still suck something out of that person, whoever they are. And
and
I think you grow up spiritually and you go, you know what? What's wrong with me that I'm using all this to get? What's wrong
yeah,
with me?
yeah. I feel like, to me, and that's why I don't do a lot of SP meditations anymore, because I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
I go like, if it serves Jay, that if I could, then great. I mean, I don't, it's not like a meditation. There is I have like a yoga playlist, and then I have sleeping playlist. I put
Yeah.
music, and I have this piano playlist, and there's one particular track. I don't know. I was just sitting or reading, and it just happened to me that it's when it started playing, I visualized something that, I'm old school. I believe in marriage, and I
Yeah.
think I cannot do a live-in situation with someone.
Yeah.
That's just I'm not opposed to it, but I go like, and you know what? I do like my space right now. I don't know. I'm learning in a way that I love when I'm alone, when my kids are gone, and it's my
Yeah.
day when I can
Yes.
just sit with a cup of, coffee or tea and read a book, look outside.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Mm.
That what is it called? Where it's isolation is a bad word. What is that's right. So there's a word for it when you are just by yourself, and it
Yeah.
feels great.
Mm.
Um, and so I go like, if I'm working on myself, the perfect partner, maybe it's Jay, maybe I don't know his some of the sides, which may not be good, because we get fixated when once we meet someone and
Yeah.
we're attracted to them and they have all the right traits. We go like this, we just
Yeah.
want to hold it too tight. We go like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get this again. And that's
Mm.
where we don't have that self-worthiness. We feel like this thing or this person is more, it's better than us.
Mm.
So I think what I learned in the last, and I'm so grateful for, even when we went through that kind of, when I was asking him and he was pushing me, and I got like,
Yeah.
that neediness. I'm also grateful for that, because if that didn't happen, I feel like with Jay, with this relationship that we have, I learned I learned so much about myself. And yes,
Yes.
I didn't know that I could be that vulnerable in a relationship towards a man.
Mm.
I didn't know that I could cry to a man. I would never
Yeah.
do that. I am, you know,
Yeah.
because of my childhood, I became very strong. I was
Yes.
like, I don't want to show my emotions to anyone. I
Yeah.
don't want to ask for anything. I'll just do it myself. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone.
Mm.
You know, I
Yeah.
became that woman. And also in my marriage, I was just doing everything. I was working on business. I was, you know, and then I
Mm.
started feeling that my ex-husband was a grown-up child for me because I was
Yeah.
doing everything. It became that I got suffocated, burdened.
Yeah.
So that's why I let go. Not that, you know, people were like, oh, did he cheat on you? You know, or did you like
Mm.
anyone? And or was he, you know, people only associate divorces where there's something major, you know.
Yeah.
If two people are not in sync,
Yeah.
you know, just let go, move on, you know, why
Yeah.
you need to correct it? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Doesn't always have to be, especially if it's gone on for a long, long time and you kind
yeah,
of you're slowly dying inside, over a long period of time, and you go, wow, I've just lost 10 years of my life doing this. Do I
yeah,
want to do another 10? And as you get older, you think about it more because you're running out of, not running out of time, but you're not going to live to 120 probably. You'll probably die before you're 100.
you know, I read somewhere they say, or it's that a human body is designed in a way, if you proper, you know, you take care of it, like proper you know, eat
Yes,
right, exercise, meditate, and of course you can live to 120.
120. Yeah, I know.
What
It's
you're saying,
true. I've
but
seen that too in certain cultures. The old people live till very, very, yeah, over 100, but
yeah,
it's a rarity still because so many of us
yeah,
have, well, abused the body in different ways,
yeah,
physically, with food, with addictions, or don't exercise, don't sleep enough, don't drink enough water, and you get slowly old and sick. And old doesn't have to be in the same sentence as sick. You can just get old. That's it.
yeah, yeah. I've
Mm.
seen people and I was in that stage because you know, not I was just not taking care of myself in the last 5 or 6 years of my marriage. 16 years for me, you know, when the divorce finalized, it was 16 years. Although we lived about 12 years together because it took me some time to get to US because he couldn't apply for me. I didn't know that,
Yeah.
um, you know, at that age. So, but, you know, that's a long time. But I still feel there's no waste in life, you know. You
Mm.
still learn, you know, like people
Yes.
go like, oh, when I was in college, I should have, you know, taken extra courses, but I was, you know, I was waiting tables. So I lost that
Mm.
time. No, you did not, because you spoke to more people, you learned about, you know, customer
Yes.
service, so many things.
Yeah.
So I feel like in life, nothing is wasted, even a bad
Yeah.
phase, bad marriage, bad relationship, bad job, bad
Yeah.
friend, or
Yes.
anything, you know, it just teaches you something. Only you just have to change your you
Mm.
know, just a little fine tuning in your head to look from a different angle. Yeah,
So agree with you. So agree. It's the journey continues, isn't it? The
it's
journey continues again and again.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to scoot. I've got someone in 5 minutes, unfortunately.
wonderful
Thank you.
talking, and I learned so much again. I feel like, you know, we went into depth. I'm gonna
I
listen to
know
it
it.
again because you know, like when you talk, it's like natural and it's like so deep. So I have to listen to that and make notes.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I'm so glad you shared your story. I'm going to put the link down below to the story that you told, that I
Yes.
read out, so that way the bits that we didn't cover in the interview, people can go back and hear, the full
Yes,
story.
please listen to that. That's less more
Yeah,
precise because I took time. I took almost a month
to
to
write it.
write it, take away things that did not.
Wow.
I took some time because I was like, I want to pinpoint the
Yes.
things which I was doing and what happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, anyone who's interested, just listen to that. It's like,
Yeah.
I know we
Beautiful.
got off track a lot.
No, no, that's fine. Wherever it goes is where it's meant to go.
Yes.
Um, you obviously have got work that you really love and enjoy and you do really well at. Do you want to come and do a part 2 and talk about meaningful work with me?
Sure. And we can talk about how pandemic shifted.
Yeah.
You know, I started another work and, you know, just helping. I'm not earning money from that, but it's just, you get that feel good. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will email each other and we will do a part 2 because yeah, I mean, your whole industry got hit really hard by the pandemic. You were in one of the industries that really got wiped out for a good 4, 5, maybe even 6 months. And it
Yeah.
would be lovely to hear the background of, well, how you transform that, and also what you're doing, what you're doing on the side as well. So you and I will talk again.
Sure.
Do you want to say goodbye to everybody before we go?
Yes, and in part 2, we can also talk about other manifestations and law
Yes.
and things, how I was able to live, attract all this in my life,
Yeah.
the abundance, I would say, not the money part of it, but the abundance in a whole.
Sounds
So
wonderful.
yeah, I think, in all, I would just say, guys, work on your self-love. That is the key. Your SP job, whatever, will come and go, but you have to be just feel good
Yeah.
here every single day, every single
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
I agree. I don't even need to add anything because I would have said exactly the same thing.
Thank you, Agnes. You take care. I'll see you later.
Stay on here, darling. We'll say bye in private. Bye, everyone. Everything will be down
Bye.
below in the description, and I'll see you as always in the next YouTube or interview.